Good evening. Welcome to Injustice Investigations. I am your host, Al Scott. As always, thank you big time for tuning in to our live broadcast tonight. Tammy, always 100 is here. As always, and my good friend, Ms. Winfrey is here as well. Lisa Fleming, good evening to you. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight, we're going to get right in because there is a lot to talk about. We're talking about the slap at the Oscars from Will Smith to comedian Chris Rock. This slap has a lot of people divided on who was right and who was wrong. It never fails. A lot of people, not all, a lot of people have a tendency to focus on one thing when something like this happens. And they tend to focus only on the reaction of someone, not realizing or don't care that in order for there to be a reaction, there must first be an action. There must first be an action. We're going to discuss what the Academy just said. Chris Rock, Joe, Will Smith behavior, and what people are saying about what happened. Even Jada Pickett has broken her silence, and she has since spoken out on what happened that night. But before we get into all of that, there are three things that I want to read to you all. And these are comments from some celebrities on what happened the other night. As I said, it's a very, very, very serious issue when the Oscars never wanted Black people there. We know that. Black people had to kick, scream, make threats in order to get the Oscars to open up, if nothing but the side door, to let Black folks come in. I didn't watch the Oscars. I don't like the Oscars. Cynthia was watching the Oscars the other night. But I think right before it happened, she fell asleep. So she didn't know about it until the next morning when she told me about it after seeing it on the news. I never want to be, I don't care who the company is, I never want to be somewhere where I know I'm not wanted. The only reason a lot of Blacks are being accepted now and being nominated is because we had to beg for it. We had to beg. Even with the Miss USA pageant, finally there's going to be a Black woman in the pageant. Well, Vanessa Williams was so close to white, we didn't see her. They still were sending a strong message then. We don't like y'all. And so I'm sure they're saying now, see, this is why we don't want the niggas to come in. Look at what happened. Look at what happened. Look at what they did. Ms. Hodges, good evening to you. Ms. Thomas, good evening to you. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We may go over 8 o'clock tonight. Not very long, but I think we're going to go over some tonight. Wanda, the comedian, has spoke out on how she sees the situation and what she thinks Will Smith should have did. We also share with you what she said Chris Rock shared with her after it had happened. Either way it goes, on both ends, I'm sure we can all agree tonight, on both ends, it's sad. It's sad on both ends. Here's what one of the Skype said. I just felt so awful for my friend Chris. It was sickening. I physically felt it. And I'm still a little traumatized by it. Speaking of Will Smith, for them to let him stay in that room and enjoy the rest of the show and accept his award, I was like, how gross is this? This is just the wrong message. You assault somebody, you get escorted out of the building, and that's it. But for them to let him continue, I thought it was gross. Plus, Wanda being Wanda, I wanted to be able to run out after he won and say, unfortunately, Will couldn't be here tonight. Couldn't be. I don't believe. I don't believe. I do not believe that Chris Rock knew about Jada Pickett's illness. That's just me. It's just what I think. I mean, I knew about it, but people have a tendency to think one celebrity should know what other celebrities are always doing and what's going on in their life. And a lot of times they don't. I don't know Chris Rock like many of you. I just know of him. I believe had he known about her situation, that joke he wouldn't have told. He wouldn't have told. Now, with that being said, Beautiful Spirit, love you big time. Thanks for being with us tonight. Now, with that being said, most women, especially Black women, they don't just wake up one morning and shave their head just to shave it. A lot of times there's something behind it. There's an illness behind it in most cases. Chris Rock, being intelligent, being a comedian, should have sat back and added up the calls. I wonder why did she cut her hair? Yes, that's what he do. He's a comedian. He makes jokes. But we also have to have consideration and respect for others. We just can't use them as a joke to get that paycheck to come. I wouldn't have told it. I would have researched first before I spoke out like that. But here's the thing about what we do. We just say it. Once you say something, you can't unsay what you said. It's out there. It's out there. I mean, it's nothing you could do about it. It's out there. And so you cannot take it back. I think we have to get past what Will did when he walked up on stage. Oh, we're going to get to that, Miss Lacey. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. When he walked up on stage, and Chris Rock said, "Uh-oh." I know he was hurt. I know he was embarrassed, and it was very painful. But Chris Rock put his hands behind his back and said something to the extent about Will Smith just slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. Will goes and he takes his seat. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. Okay. I agree with comedian Wanda Sykes that Will Smith should have been escorted out of the building. He was actually, and he said no, he wasn't going to it. I think that was wrong for them to allow him to stay there after what he had done. We all see this in many different ways. Jada Pinkett should have stopped Will Smith from going up on stage. Someone just said, I'm not saying I agree with them, I'm going to make a point. Then someone says, who's that? Someone said about, done it so many times. I'm missing that comment. Oh, yeah. Someone said that, okay, Michelle Lacey said, Will tell just as many jokes. That the one I was looking for. Anyway, someone said that she should have stopped him. Will laughed. That's that. But okay, but Will he did that. He did. Jada Pinkett laughed, smiled some before he went there with her. So now watch this. Jada done turned a different way. Her facial expression has changed. She's hurt and she's pissed. Will look again. He laughs. It wasn't so much as Will thought it was funny with all this, in my opinion, with all that's going on with her. I'm trying to get her to laugh, to focus, not so much as he's disrespecting me, but she did. And so Will gets up and he goes up there and he slaps. Okay, before you ask about the smile, sometimes my smile is a frown turned upside down. That doesn't mean that the incident was staged. And I know it wasn't staged. Will Smith loved his wife. I'm not going to go into allegations of infidelity. I'm not going there tonight. I believe that was a slap. Well, let's call it this. There was a layaway slap. That had been put on the back burner for a later date and time. So it could have been Oscars, the Grammys, in a store, in the mall. I believe there's something personal going on. That slap was put on layaway for a later date, and it finally came out. Cynthia and I have been together for many years. It's like many couples, we have our ups, we have our downs. She's not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. If we go out to eat and the wait staff is somewhat ugly with me, I can deal with it. Don't bother. You can even treat me like that. I don't care. But if you look and you mistreat Cynthia, then I have a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Would I have done what Will Smith did? Absolutely, positively, unquestionable, I would have done it. You don't know what goes on behind doors with Will and Jada with what's going on now. The thoughts she had. The thoughts he had. This is the mother of his children. You don't disrespect her. You don't do that. You don't do that. Every joke is not funny. What's funny to some may not be funny to others. But I would have done what Will Smith did, whether he knew or not. Why? Because this is my wife. I know what's going on. You don't know the private things we said when we're by ourselves, and how she's thinking about this. This could lead to this. Because when you get one sickness, one illness always brings on something else. So you're disrespecting my woman. Now you crossed the line. Okay, Virtual Spirit says, uh, uh, Jada keeps saying an open marriage. Look, let's go. It's something called open marriage, called progressive love or something like that. Anyway, if you're into that, okay, then y'all have rules that you place. So you can't get upset and say, well, why, if it was an open marriage, he didn't slap the guy that was having sex with his wife. If that be the case, you know why he didn't slap her? That's what they do. That didn't bother him. They openly talked about this on the show one time. They did. Here's what the Academy just released in response to what happened the other night. The Academy will initiate disciplinary procedures against Will Smith over the Oscar incident. The Academy said that it has begun a disciplinary actions against Smith over the slap. They're scheduled to meet tonight. It might be going on now. The Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences has initiated disciplinary procedures against actor Will Smith over his actions at Sunday's Oscar. The Board of Governors today initiated disciplinary procedures against Mr. Smith for violation of the Academy's standards of conduct, including inappropriate physical contact, abusive or threatening behavior, and so he must be dealt with accordingly. They haven't released what that those disciplinaries will be, but they are going to issue some disciplinary. And okay, I'm not against that. You know, if they have a code of conduct, then you must act accordingly. So when you don't, okay, well, this is part of it. You can decide how you respond to any situation that comes your way. That's up to you. That's up to you how you respond to it. Unfortunately, sometimes you don't have the ability to decide what consequences that you must face from your action. But we cannot keep looking at what Will did and not address what Chris Rock did. And Chris Rock is a comedian. He get paid to do that. Paid or not, you need to study someone before you come out and speak on them in that way. So Chris Rock, he's part to blame too, whether he knew or not. You have to go and say, well, why did she cut her hair? That's a red flag right there. I need to study this before I go and I speak on this just to get a laugh. Lacey says, I want my husband to honor me with his love, not with assaults. Okay, that's understandable. Okay, but here's the thing about an assault. Will Smith did commit an assault. Whether you agree with this or not, Chris Rock initiated the first assault, which was a verbal assault against Jada Pinkett. And sometimes a verbal assault hurts better than a physical assault. So they both must be dealt with. Now we said he's gonna win to the back. He's gonna win backstage. And he's gonna deal with it then. Well, what would you say to Chris Rock for telling a damn joke? What should he have done? We're not gonna give you no sugar-coated shit cookies here. I'm gonna tell you the way I see it. If my child act an ass in public, I deal with him in public. That's what Will did. That's what he did. A verbal assault is just as bad as a physical assault. I want to read something to you that pissed me off today. And when I say it pissed me off, it pissed me off. what's a comedian said about uh, Will and Jada Smith. So I'm trying to get it pulled up here. And there's a piece I'm trying to find that I misplaced that a friend of mine, well, Ronnie Boo, put out in his response to what happened at the Oscars. Okay. Comedian Tom Serger says he's a comedian and podcast host. He went off on Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. The below comments were taken from his Twitter account on March 28, 2022, 12:33 p.m. I want your response to this. Fuck Will Smith, candid ass, smacking a dude 4 inches shorter and 50 pounds lighter. He's just in his feelings cause his bald-headed bitch been fucking around on him for years and he takes it. We all know who he wishes he could slap. Probably your damn ass right now. I see that as being disrespectful. Very disrespectful. I don't understand what you're saying, Michelle. So disagree what comedians does, research before a joke. Who does that? Okay, I'm gonna tell you who does it. A lot of people. Okay, a lot of comedians does that. You know why they do that? Because they love what they do. They don't want to be liable for hurting someone on stage. Yes, they're gonna mess with you when you're on the front row. But here's what you have to understand: this black woman head is shaved. Something might be wrong. So yes, you must do your research before you go out there and make an ass out of yourself and get bitch slapped. It's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that. He should have done his homework. Should have done his homework. And so you and I, we wouldn't be here right now discussing what happened at the Oscars. Good evening, calling you live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling from tonight?
Hey, Mr. Scott, this is Abigail. How
are you? Abigail, I'm excellent, marvelous, superb. It's wonderful to hear your voice.
I know it sounds real Southern country, so y'all bear with it.
You're good. Talk to us. Tell us what you got.
I like the subject tonight. I just wanted to weigh in a little bit. I agree with you. We on the same side of this subject. I know sometimes we're not.
We bump heads.
We on the same side.
Amen.
I'm kind of disappointed. All of this happened, of course, but it did. And now, of course, we'll have to face some kind of actions. And it's kind of surprising for me to side with Will because I don't think he's a good actor. Mm-hmm. I don't like any of his movies. I'm more of a Chris Rock fan, but that's besides the point. I enjoy Chris Rock movies and comedy more than I enjoy Will Smith's acting. Mm-hmm. But that has nothing to do with any of this. I'm on the side of Will because I do not believe that I should have to position myself to sit in an audience where you make fun of me on a public stage and I not deal with you on a public stage. Mm. I get so tired of hearing the excuse that comedians, that's what they do, and that's what they're supposed to do, and you can't take it and don't listen to it.
Exactly.
Why am I, and I think we just allowed this for so long in our society, why do we allow these people to put us down personally and it's supposed to be funny. But if somebody does it in private, our own personal family, we getting ready to get up and fight. It's because they make money off of it. It's because they're famous, and is it because of what they do professionally? It wasn't funny.
Exactly.
It was not funny. And the reason that it was not funny, and I do not believe that he did not know. These comedians prepare for what they do, and especially on the stage of an Oscar night.
Mm-hmm.
And they prepare for months before what they do, and they study. And the GI, it's no way in the world anybody could tell me Chris didn't know. The person, his team could have told him, well, do you know she has a disease? She's talked about it so much.
Exactly.
And he calls them his friend, as he put out a statement yesterday. They're my friends. You don't know that your friend's wife have a hair disease? And I know some people say it ain't that serious, she could put on a wig, but if you heard her story behind it, her hair was our glory.
Mm-hmm.
All these Christian people who say, Lord this and Lord that, the Bible even states your hair is your glory.
Yes.
Many times, didn't Samson say don't cut his hair? So if your beauty is your hair, according to the Bible, which so many people follow, that would be the devastating effect to comb your hair and crops of hair come out. One of the things they tell cancer patients to do, one of the first things they tell you to do is to shave your head because of the psychological and mental and emotional effect it has on you when you lose your hair. It wasn't funny. And yes, Will did giggle, but you ever have a delayed response to what you hear? You laugh, and then you be like, wait a minute. That's kind of, wait a minute. That went a little, I've done it many times. I've laughed at somebody said something about me. Then I thought about it like, wait, that's not funny.
Exactly.
And he was supposed to look over at his wife. I don't know why we think Jada our wives, but that's his wife. And all the conversations that you mentioned that they had in private of her hurt and her pain, she spoke about it publicly. So imagine what he's listening to at home.
Exactly.
About it. In the bed, as they ride in the car, he hears it more
he is really, I almost said the victim, but he's not. Jada is sitting there, and so when a couple is alone and there's some health issues going on, some things you will never know about because they don't want the public to know about it. And when he looked over there and he saw his wife frowning and he knew what was going on, that irked him. That irked him. It did. And so that's why he answered. Okay, I thank you so much. I got to catch this next call, but you and I must talk, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Enjoy your evening. Bye-bye. Good evening, caller. You're live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling from tonight?
Hello, Mr. Scott. This is Rocky Falls.
Rocky Falls, how are you?
I am doing wonderful today. I hope everybody is doing well. So glad to see you on live. YouTube is not giving me my notifications when you go live. So
okay. I'm gonna write that down now. I apologize. When this ends, I'm gonna go in settings and see what happened.
Okay. So on the topic at hand, this is what I don't understand. It really bothers me a lot. To hear Black women immediately go in on other Black women. I guess some women aren't used to their man protecting them, or maybe their father didn't, their uncle didn't, their brother didn't. But it's the men out here don't play about their wife. I know you're one of them.
Come on,
Mr. Scott.
Come on.
I know if somebody was somewhere saying something about our beloved Miss Cynthia, you would get on that behind.
Exactly, without a doubt.
And and I saw something. This other YouTuber, I don't want to call names, he posted something about the house Negro is scared to die, but the revolutionary, they waiting to die to protect. Some things is worth taking a risk on. And when will Black people stop making excuses and bowing down to the establishment, so scared to go to jail, so scared to get a retaliation of some sort? We'll never get our what's the word? Our liberty in this country because there's too many scared Negroes.
That's it.
They're scared of this, scared of that. Because I tell you one thing, if something happened to one of my family members, I'm not gonna be on TV crying with Ben Crump. I'm gonna be going find whoever I can get to get an eye for an eye. And that's just me. And I'm not saying everybody have to resort to violence or whatever you do is would work for you. But if we just don't sit back and let people disrespect us, just like these white folks in the restaurant or in the Walmart or whatever come up to you and call you in weird this and get in your face and all that, you gonna keep standing there? Are we in 1955? Like, when will we stand up to disrespect of our loved ones? Like, it's to me, it's enough. Enough is enough. And I love to see somebody get popped in the mouth for running their mouth too many times. And your mouth will tick, your behind cannot catch.
Exactly. You've made some great points there, and I have seen online, which surprised me, like it surprised you. So many Black women were saying that it wasn't that bad. Jada was blowing her illness out of proportion, and I mean, I just couldn't believe I was reading what some Black women were saying about Jada. That right there really upset me, because just because it might be mild doesn't mean she see it that way, or there's some more issues going on that you don't know about. But even if it's only going to last for 24 more damn hours, I dare you have the audacity to come and try to degrade that woman.
Right. They worse than the men.
Exactly.
And it's bad to see. And I'm not trying to be funny, but it's a couple of Black women who have some hair issues. And if somebody says something about them, they go, "Oh Lord, no, you didn't. This, that, and the third." That woman is struggling with something. A woman's hair, losing her hair, and Jada is beautiful. Let me just say that. She one of them women can pull off a bald head, baby, because she is absolutely gorgeous. But that doesn't change. That woman may want to get some braids or,
Exactly.
you know, wear her some bangs or something like that, and now she can't. And for somebody to make fun of it, and Chris Rock don't want nobody talking about his mama. What if Will Smith was on stage making a joke about his mama teeth? And y'all remember Chris Rock old teeth before that new money came? What if somebody was talking about his mama teeth or his mama body? You don't do that. Exactly. And when black women stop sitting up here sucking up to some of these degenerate men who wouldn't protect. You remember that video where the man went to show his little girl the pit bull and he jumped on the car and left the baby down there? Exactly. I remember that. That's the pain some of these women have. That's why they don't understand a woman being defended by her husband. Exactly. And you know, again, this is the mother of his kids. They've been together for many years. Someone said, I think it was Sam Under Trap said, he just can't take a joke. Sam, we have to look at it like this. I'm sure he can take a joke, but that right there wasn't a joke to him. No. It wasn't a joke to Will. Cindy says, ma'am, that's Hollywood. We're in real life. I don't think Hollywood is no different than anywhere else, because this is real life. Yeah, Hollywood is real life. Nothing really changes, you know. So real life is what you saw, whether he has a large bank account or not. Someone came on our Injustice page and said, those are rich people problems, not ours. Those are rich people problems, not ours. I thought that was a very super stupid statement, because the size of your bank account don't have a damn thing to do with your illness and somebody disrespecting your woman. It has something to do with it. Absolutely. And money can't buy your health sometimes. You can have billions of dollars and she have plenty of money and she can't get her hair to grow. And some of these people act like some, Mr. Scott, I'm trying to watch my words. No, you're good. You're good. You're good. But some of these film things don't understand nothing. All they see is, oh, they got money and this and that. And then I heard a lot of men and women talking about, well, I bet Will wouldn't have slapped so-and-so and 50 Cent. And I bet you Chris Rock wouldn't have talked about Samuel Jackson's wife either. Exactly. I bet you he wouldn't have said that joke about one of them Jewish women that was sitting there with alopecia. I bet you he wouldn't have done that. Exactly. So let's keep it real. And then why are we so concerned with what white people think? Oh, white people have done so much dirt to us. Who cares what they think? How they gonna the real savages? How are they gonna look at us as savages when we were enslaved? Like, are you serious? Who cares what white people think? That man didn't give a darn about nothing at that point but to shut that Negro up. That's it. And I applaud him. Any man that stand up for his wife, because I wish I had a husband that, hey, you get out of line with my wife, it's gonna be some consequences. And guess what? I'll go bail him out of jail. I'll go work 2 jobs to help him out. That's it. I totally agree with you on everything that you said. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the show. I apologize for us going off air, but we in Louisiana and it's been some. I really enjoy your content, and I was just happy to call in today, and I'm gonna just sit back and listen. But I really appreciate you and really love you, sir. You are welcome, and I love you big time. Thanks again. Okay. Bye-bye. Someone says, Arlene, my sister has that same disease. Free enslaved. I can't agree with you on that, Sam. Under Trap, he says Hollywood hasn't had drama for a hot minute, so perfect time to start some up. I don't agree with that, because a lot of things that go on in Hollywood, drama wise, we may not know about it. And some things we just won't know about it. But nevertheless, it was very disrespectful, and it's extremely disrespectful when people continue to do to Jada Pinkett
what Chris Rock did. I don't believe he knew. Some believe he did. So we have to watch ourselves that we don't make ourselves worse than the conduct that we're speaking on tonight. You know, it's different when you have emotions tied to something. Cindy says, I have lupus and I have to wear a wig because I lost my hair. I understand, but violence is never the answer. Cindy, you know what? That's a great point. I mean, what you're saying is biblical. That's it. It's not. But sometimes, you know, things build up in us, not to justify anything Will Smith did, but things they just build up. Because Chris Rock is not the only comedian that has been saying ugly things about Jada. And this is this man's wife. And when things build up, you know what? This is where it's gonna go down there. So we keep saying that he should have waited till he went backstage. But what should Chris Rock have done? It's just as simple as that. And I have a sister, Cindy, Yvette, she has lupus as well. But I agree, violence is never the answer. But sometimes, in order to get some peace in your life, you may have to raise some hell. And that includes knocking them down. And sometimes you got to do. This is my opinion. My opinion is not a fact. And I'm not trying to pass it off as a fact. Okay. There was a lot of things I want to reach y'all tonight. Something went wrong with the internet, so I can't get to all of those. But I want to share something with you that popped up right before that red light came on, and it was a poll that had been taken. And here's what it says. Come from New York Post. It says they took a poll on what happened at the Oscars. The Blue Rose Research poll found that 52.3% of people blame Chris Rock for the incident, compared to 74.7% who said Will was out of line. There we go again. We keep looking at Will. We keep looking at Will Smith on what he did. Why? Because Will Smith is the reaction. And I don't think it's fair that people focus so much on someone's reaction when something has been done to them. I'm sure Will Smith regret it now, and maybe Chris Rock regrets it, you know. But I think this was a learning situation for Chris Rock. If he's not doing research on some things he's going to talk about, maybe it's time to do, you know. But Arlene says we should have changed the format to. He should have changed the format to something totally different. I totally agree with you on that. But when he came out and he was speaking on it, well, you can't change it because it's out. I mean, once you say something, you can't unset that. It's already out. They're saying some ugly things about Will Smith, and when he smiled, I mean, I told you earlier, sometimes a smile is a frown, but you never disrespect a man's woman. You don't. Well, Janet Pitcher could have grabbed it. No. She couldn't have. It was a bad night at the Oscars. Do I think they should take Will Smith's statue back? No, I don't think they should. He won that before this came about, but I understand, you know, their code of conduct. I understand that. Banning him from coming back, I can agree to that. But if I was Will Smith and I won, you know, the Oscar, and you say you all are meeting and you're thinking about taking it back, stop right there. You don't have to think. I'm gonna bring it to you because either way it go, I won. So to take this back because I slapped Chris Rock, I don't give a damn. I'd rather lose this statue any day than to lose my wife just to make some people happy, to please them, you know. And if you're not doing things a certain way, then you become that's not for us, the problem child. The problem child. He had time to do this and do that. That's that man's wife again. We have to remember that. So you can think anything that you want to think in this man's world, but it's just not always good to say what you are thinking about, because you have to think about other people's feelings. So in being a comedian and making people laugh, you also must sit and add up the cost. Is this joke worth the hell that might come from it? Or should I not do it? Chris Rock didn't add up the cost for that. So it is what it is. It ain't what it ain't. When there was an issue with Cynthia and some people at the car dealership she had purchased a car from, and they were disrespecting her. And she called me. And I remember like that message. I said, let me call you back. That's what I told him. And I went there and got on his ass. You don't disrespect what's mine. You don't do that. You don't do that. That's mine. You don't address her as such. I'm sure as many times as Chris Rock had to go backstage to change, do this, or get ready for the next segment, somebody back there told him, if he didn't know, about why Jada shaved her head. And if that would be true, he should have came back out and offered an apology, like you all are screaming for Will to do. And he did. And he came on stage and he was so sincere, and he was crying. He was crying. I think he hated it then, but sometimes, you know, you just got to go there sometimes to shut people up, because again, they have been saying some ugly things. Sheila White says, if Chris Rock knew Jada had help or not, Will Smith should have kept his hands to himself. He needs to practice self-control. Okay, you're right. As well as Will need to practice self-control, Chris Rock need to practice which jokes should be told. What's funny to Chris may not be funny to others. You know, and so it's not, when we talk about self-control, I kind of hit it earlier, things begin to build up. They begin to build up. He should have did this. He should have done that. That's easy for you to say. That's easy for you to say. Cindy says, Will had other issues going on with him. Okay, again, things build up. It does. Things build up. So we can't keep giving Chris Rock, in my opinion, a pass. Chris Rock orchestrated the Oscar slap. He did. He did. He orchestrated that. He orchestrated that slap. He did. But there was some good from some of his shows are selling out now. And I'm sure part of his opening act, he's going to bring up that. Now, if I was Chris Rock, would I put my hands behind me like that? No, Will and I would have tore that damn stage up. We would have tore it up. People are going to think what they want to think regardless. They're gonna think. For me to stand there and let you come up on stage and bitch slap me, and then you walk away from me and your back is to my face, that means you a bad self-sucker. You know I ain't gonna do nothing to you. You know this. That'd be a damn lie. A damn lie. It's going back to what Cindy said. Will has issues. We all have issues. We do. And the issues sometimes can overtake us. And things happen. We get out of control. But when it comes to this issue and some other issues, I'm always reminded of the phrase, if you think I'm right, I'm wrong, and you think you're right, well, position determines perspective. What you see depends upon where you're standing. It's just as simple as that. I'm not going to let no man on planet Earth disrespect my woman. I'm just not going to do it. Good evening, caller. You live on air. What's your name and what state are you calling from this evening?
Good evening. My name is Katrina Ruffin. I'm actually from Shreveport, Louisiana, but I live in Atlanta.
Hey, well, good evening.
Good evening. I like your show.
I thank you kindly.
I appreciate the work that you're doing in the community. And I really appreciate the show. I think this is great commentary. I think it's great feedback, and it's definitely teachable moments for us.
I thank you kindly. I really do.
Well, you're welcome.
You know what? That's the thing is that I always end my show by saying, I'm not always right. You're not always wrong. I'm teachable until the day I die. But tonight, we did the show in hopes of coming at it with a different perspective, because we don't just want people to look at it from one side. And that's what a lot of people are doing, and then blase and stuff. But you have to put yourself in Will's shoes.
That's true. That is so true.
You have to. But I mean, it's bad again on both ends. Nobody wanted this to happen, but it did. How long have you been in Atlanta?
Oh gosh, I've been here 20 years, over 20 years. Yeah, I moved here in my early 30s. I'm 54 now. Is your show still on? I was trying to call so I can get my feedback. I'm listening. Gosh. Okay. But yeah, I've been here over 20 years.
Okay. Well, a lot has changed, not for the good. I'm sure you keep up with what goes on in Shreveport sometimes.
I definitely do. I keep up with it. I used to be a little active in what was going on when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I keep up with it all the time. It's a lot has changed. Some for the better, some for the worse. But yeah.
So, your honest opinion about Will going up on stage slapping Chris Rock?
My honest opinion. I made a few notes. My honest opinion the first thing that came to my mind, and I'll never forget. I don't know if you remember Dr. Breer. He was one of my mentors and my godfather.
Mm-hmm.
There in Shreveport. He was a physician there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he told me something once, and I've never forget it. He said, "You never know when you're making a memory." One time I had gotten so angry, I called him. I said, "Dad, I'm just upset. I wanted to write this letter, and he is the reason why I have 2 email addresses. He told me to create an email address, send it to myself, wake up tomorrow, read it to myself, and if I still feel the same way, pray again." That way, he wanted me to learn how to practice the discipline of praying, venting, and controlling my emotions and not letting someone else control my emotions. Because that's when they happen, is when they can control how you behave. Denzel Washington hit the nail right on the head. He said, at your highest moment,
careful because that's when the devil comes for you. He didn't specify who the devil might be. The devil could show itself in all different kinds of forms. Now, he's not going to come for the average Joe Blow. He's going to take Will Smith, the man who has spent over 30 years in his career trying to win an Oscar, which we all know that he should have gotten this award years ago. Years ago. But he's going to wait till the very night that this man is not only nominated for the Oscar, but wins it. And he wins the Oscar among his peers. You got Will Packer. In 94 years, you have an African American that's producing it. You have a Hispanic lesbian woman that wins Best Supporting Actress. You have a deaf person that wins. You have Beyonce that opens up the Oscars. It is more multiculturally diverse than it's been in 94 years.
You know, I was catching bits and pieces of it, but
it's bigger than that.
Yeah, you know, and I saw that, you know, the deaf movie win, and I thought that was a powerful statement.
Oh God, I cried I cried the whole time that before the Oscars was coming up, and I was like, oh wow, this is such a historical moment for multicultural people outside of just being an African American. But this is for the Latino population, this is for the LGBTQ population, this is for the deaf community population. This is such a big win for so many diverse populations. This is going to be a really good Oscar because it represents America, not white America, but it represents America. That's why I'm so hurt and broken. Not to mention, I shaved my head 3 years ago, not by choice, but because I have eczema. And it caused my hair to break out, so I said, forget it, I lock my hair. And I wear it boldly and proudly.
Now,
sometimes I wear my wigs, but I wear my hair. And when I wear it, I'll wear it. I walk in the room and I own my ball.
you know,
I
right.
stand tall with it. So I think, based on what he said, he opened it up saying, Jada, I love G.I. Jane 2. I can't wait to see it. Quote unquote. That is what that man said.
You know,
that is what he said.
Yeah. You're reminding me of the situation with the Supreme Court nominee, Judge Jackson, and the way they treated her and tried to degrade her and embarrass her in front of the whole world. And she knew what they were doing.
Yes. That's what Denzel was trying to get, and Tyler Perry was trying to get Will Smith to see. This is bigger. They know what this is orchestrated to destroy what you built. Sure, we know you're gonna protect what's yours.
Exactly. I'm gonna answer one quick statement here, or respond to it rather. Arlene says we do not know anything about these people's personal life. No one knows what goes on behind closed doors. Let me say this to you. You don't have to personally know what's going on in someone's home. What goes on in poor people's home, it goes on in rich people's home. So, you know, it's like when someone commits a crime, well, you wasn't there. Well, you don't have to be there to get evidence to prove that a crime was committed and such did it. And so it reminds me of something that the lady said on my Facebook page. These are rich people problems. No, it has nothing to do with the damn size of a bank account.
No, it's not. It's these are problems that plague Americans every day.
That's it.
This has nothing to do with being rich or poor, because to be honest, when they ran a poll, you got more of the lesser wealthy communities
like that.
That's it.
I mean,
That's
you
it.
have more poverty communities saying, help, is this what I've been missing? Okay, I didn't know they get down like that. I've been missing it. Because they looking at the fact that, oh wow, that's some drama, that's some TV for you to get slapped. So now they're like, you got people of diverse financial class groups that now say, okay, wow, this is not as classy as what I thought it was. It's not so prestigious after all.
Right.
I'm gonna watch it next year.
Exactly.
It makes you get better.
Exactly. I gratefully. Exactly.
That's the thing.
I gratefully appreciate you calling in.
Oh, you are welcome. You're welcome. Everybody knows Will love you. Everybody knows he takes up for his wife. But it's bigger than that.
It is. It is.
It's bigger than that. And now look what the memory that we have made. It's history now. We can't undo it.
Exactly.
It is what it is. Like you said, it is what it is.
It's what it is. It ain't what it ain't. Enjoy your evening. I hope
and that's why I thank you for your show. It's a teachable moment for us all.
I thank you kindly for watching. Is this your first time watching it?
I've watched it before,
okay.
But this is my first time really having the time to watch it and call it because I've been wanting to catch it more often. I don't get my notifications either. I don't know why. I'm going to take another look at that. Because
okay.
I like your show and I want to call it more often. You have very good content. You really do.
I think you can.
You know, and I believe and agree with what you're doing for the community. I know you're going to be an up-and-coming politician. I feel it.
You know what? I told them in Shreveport. They they think I'm playing. I made an announcement 3 months ago in Shreveport that I'm getting ready to run for public office, and my thing is this: I'm not running to lose.
And you won't.
I love you big time. All right, thank you so much.
It's in your blood. You've already paid the work. It's in you already. You're just doing what you were born to do.
I think you can.
You were born to do this. This is your calling.
I appreciate you. Enjoy your evening.
More than welcome. Thank you. You have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay. We keep saying that there was a better way to handle it. What will you say about Chris Tucker? You keep focusing on the reaction. So you got to go first and deal with the action that brought on the reaction. Tracy Taylor, you're excused. Don't let it happen again. I'll put you in a timeout. You know, so I think it's unfair to really just sit and try to beat Will Smith down because he went up on stage and slapped Chris Tucker. We're missing why he went on stage. We're missing why he went on stage and slapped Chris Tucker. We have to get there. We have to get there as to why he did what he did. We have to do that. So we can't address this properly without addressing the actions of Chris Tucker. As the young lady just said, you're leaving a memory, and we have to be careful. My brother Scott had told me one time, I think it was okay then, he said, man, you don't care what you say. You say anything come to your mind. And I said, that's not true. Yes, I said, no, it's not true. If I said everything that came to my mind, I'd be dead a long time ago. Again, position determines perspective. What you see depends upon where you're standing. But we have to start thinking about what we're thinking about and just don't do what we're thinking about, because it can go bad on both ends. It can go bad. Regardless if it's a terminal illness or not, it's an illness. It's an illness. And It's a hard pill to swallow. Tracy Taylor, I love you big time. Thank you. Thank you so very much. It's a hard pill to swallow. I'm gonna go back to Cynthia real quick. When she called me that day, I could hear it in her voice that she was hurt with how they was treating her. And that made me so angry. I can deal with you talking stupid to me, not to my woman. Not to my woman. And I went up there. I did that. Will I do it again? At the drop of a dime. We can't fool ourselves and say it's a wonderful world. Things should be done like this and done like this. It didn't matter if it was the Oscars, the Grammys, the State Fair. I believe personally, again, there was a slap that was put on layaway and it was just waiting to come out. And it came out. I think it was 2021, maybe a little further than that, because we want to be fair on both ends. Will Smith was on the red carpet. I think he was being pranked, I think. And a guy was acting gay and he kissed him or tried to kiss him. And so Will hit him. And in hitting him, he also hit the cameraman. They brought that up there and they're trying to blow that out of proportion. He has a history of that. No, he doesn't. He has a history of loving his woman. He has a history of protecting his woman. And so I understand when people say violence is not the answer. Okay, it is not the answer, but sometimes you got to get up off your ass and beat a sapsucker. You're going to have to do it. In order to get some peace in your life, you're going to have to raise some. Violence is not the answer. I'm so sick of hearing that shit. And this is another subject. A lot of Black folks are on standstill in their life because they don't want to raise no hell. But I'm going to pray about it. God will. Change gonna come. That's a slave. That's that slave language. That's what they said back then because they couldn't do a damn thing about it. They couldn't. They couldn't. So if it takes knocking on your ass, do it. I'm not with Dr. King was wonderful. I'm with Malcolm X by any means necessary. Rocky Falls, I love you big time also. You know what? I said that earlier today, and I think I've done it 2 or 3 times. Karen A says, it's Chris Rock, sir, not Chris Tucker. I've done that so many times today. Thank you for correcting me. I deeply, deeply apologize, but you're right. It's Chris Tucker. I said that earlier today. I could hear myself. So again, we can play games with ourselves. That man loves his wife. And comedian or not, you go and study it. Not just your material. Study on who you finna speak on as part of your act. That's what you do. Because if you don't, this is the end result. You can't tell me where not to act an ass at. You can't. You can't. And a lot of people are lying. I wouldn't have done that. Out of the way. Some of y'all just lying through your damn teeth. We have a tendency to say shit that we know people want to hear to make us look good. You said things on Facebook that's not true. You're playing along. You're going along to get along. You're saying what you think the public wants to hear. He could have prayed about it. He could have addressed it another way. Chris Rock could have addressed it another way. But he didn't. He didn't. Will, I think you're wonderful, brother. I think you're wonderful. I do. I think you're wonderful. I watched a movie today, and there was a lady. She had cancer. And it was based on a true story. And she began to lose her hair. And then so she started to wear a wig. But people in the neighborhood who are messy keep a mess. So one went back and pulled it off. The young lady killed herself because of the actions of others. What you don't want done to you, how in the hell can you be acceptable for it happening to someone else? You make yourself out to be a hypocrite. Jada Pickett said, "This is a season for healing, and I am here for it." She didn't defend her husband. She didn't defend Chris Rock. That's what she said. And she says, I'm here for it. So yes, we have to move on, but we can't move on and act like this didn't happen. We can't, because it happened. Will must be disciplined for it, especially when he would not leave and they was trying to get him to leave. And J. Anthony Brown said, he put a picture out and says, this is going to paraphrase, this is who Will Smith should have slapped the shit out of. It was Wesley Snipes. I don't know what the hell was going on with him. He looked like a dressed up fly. It looked as if he preserved the outfit that he had on in what's the name of that the movie he starred in? I can't think of the name of it. Somebody know what I'm talking about. But I don't. He looked a hot damn mess. New Jack City. He looked a hot mess. But J. Anthony Brown said, this who Will should have slapped the shit out of for wearing that damn outfit. We're going to come back tomorrow night because of the interference with the internet. Because there's a piece that a friend of mine wrote, Ronnie, on Facebook that I want to share with you all, and there are about maybe 4 or 5 other statements from celebrities who has responded to this. So some of those I'm gonna share with you later tonight on our Justice Facebook page. But tomorrow I want to read a lot of them out to you. Tomorrow we're probably gonna do pop-ups tomorrow, which simply means that there's no set time. We may start at 11 or 1 o'clock. We'll just be popping up on YouTube throughout the day, speaking on this issue. And again, tomorrow it's going to be the same as tonight. It's going to be an open conversation. I don't care if you call in and disagree with me. That doesn't bother me. All I'm saying is that when we disagree with one another, let's not disrespect one another in doing so, because I don't see it your way and you don't see it my way. We can disagree in a respectful way. We can. I love you all. Remember, I'm not always right, and you are not always wrong. With the Lord willing, I will see you all tomorrow night. Before I go, all of you who sent Cynthia wonderful birthday wishes, her and I both thank you from our hearts to yours. We thank you kindly. You all showed her a whole lot of love, and I gratefully appreciate it. I gratefully appreciate that, because as long as she's happy, I'm happy also. And I appreciate your support for what we do here, and realize we can't do it without you guys. If you guys don't show up, I have nobody to talk to. Be as Lord willing, I will see you all sometime tomorrow. Thank you for watching.